Okay.
Good morning. Welcome to my house. We're going to have a garden tour today. Here's the sign I used the last couple years when you've actually come to my house. This year we're going to do it virtually. So thank you, Pam, for coming to take some pictures. Oh, I was going to show you the little lizard on the rosette spoonbill, but he ran away. I guess he's on the back side. I love yard art, so as we go through the yard, you're going to see lots of flowers and a variety of yard art. I also love pots. Of course, that means I have to water frequently, but you'll see a variety of pots throughout the yard. I love pink, so you're going to see pink and purples and salvias and pinches. And towards the back are my leaves with our fountain. Got that at Spring Festival probably about 12 or 15 years ago. The birds love it too. Hummingbird over here on the black and blue salvia. Whoop, there he goes. Well, we got a quick glimpse of a hummingbird that came to visit the black and blue salvia. And this is one of my butterfly bushes that I got from propagation several years back. One day Connie said, oh, we've got too much of this yellow butterfly bush. It's like everywhere. And so I took a piece home and have worked on it over the years, and now it's a tree. Almost looks like a little weeping willow tree the way it hangs down. The arbor to the back is in semi-shade or shade most of the day. The zebra longwings, our state butterfly, loves passion vines in the shade. So you'll actually see there are actually 3 different passion vines here in my gardens, and this one is for the zebra longwings. It also turned out to be a great place to hang a few Vanda orchids. Right plant, wrong location. I'm going to need to move that this fall. It's probably 3 years old, and it's the 3rd time it's snapped off. I guess at the corner of the house when we have some of our rainstorms. The wind must whip around the corner, and last week before all our rain, it was probably, that's 25% of what it was last week. In addition to the rain, it seemed to bring a lot of mosquitoes, so Pam and I are slapping mosquitoes as we go. But since I have a butterfly garden, no pesticides here. So I guess I'll just have to put up with the mosquitoes for a while. Right now we're entering the memorial garden. Most of you know that I lost my husband 2.5 years ago, and developing this garden was very therapeutic for me. There was a few things here before, but I've expanded it a lot. He was a Cleveland Browns football fan, so you see a few pieces of Browns memorabilia here. Many things in my garden are either cuttings or plants that some of you have given to me, or You helped me with the garden, gave me ideas. This pot right here is multi-seasonal. Several years back, Pam gave me a ground orchid that blooms beautifully in March, early March. And then when it's done blooming, the caladiums pop up. I think the cat whiskers I might have gotten from Joyce. And just several different things from different people. Diane and Sally and Robin and Pam and others too. Oh, and Gloria gave me one of those little bee houses. So I've got bees that come and go out of the tubes there. A fairy garden. It's not your traditional fairy garden, but several years ago a friend came upon this fountain that was non-functioning and donated it to me, and I decided it would be great to use for a fairy garden. I've got a few tomato plants, and my first 2 tomatoes are starting to turn red. So I'm looking forward to tasting those in a few days. Hopefully the squirrels won't decide to come munch. Another arbor here, and in the spring that's a Carolina jasmine vine, and it's covered with yellow flowers and bees in the spring. It's also a great place for my Vanda orchids. Last year when you were all visiting, 4 of them were blooming. Unfortunately this year none of them are blooming at the moment. So when it does bloom, when some of them bloom in a few weeks, I'll post pictures on Facebook for you. Still pretty early in the morning, so we don't have any butterflies out yet. They prefer warm weather and sunshine, and they'll be out this afternoon, but at the moment they're not here yet. They're out hiding in the hedges. My dog decided to make an appearance. He patiently watches me garden from the other side of the screen. There's no one particular area that's a butterfly garden. It's just kind of everywhere. Butterflies love pentas, zinnias, asters, coneflowers, the list goes on. Lots of different nectar plants throughout the garden. They love flat surfaces because it gives them a good landing pad. A few volunteer sunflowers from my bird feeder. And now we're coming to Butterfly Lane. behind you is my hedge. The birds love my hedge. And I've got my bird feeders over here in a bird house. Presently, I'm on my second brood of bluebirds in the house. There's 5 eggs, or last time I checked there were eggs. They haven't been born yet, but the mom and dad are around keeping an eye on things. We've got some Coreopsis and some Stokes aster. Again, another popular nectar plant for the pollinators. It's a Texas native blue mist flower. This is my butterfly bush that's a member of the Clerodendron family. And you can see the little tiny butterfly flowers. Behind us to the left is a passion vine covering my chain link fence. And there's a butterfly. That's a Gulf fritillary. And the passion vine is the host plant for Gulf fritillary. The key to a butterfly garden is having a mix of nectar plants and host plants. So I've got lots of passion vine and milkweed and the passion vine in the front for the zebra longwings. I love the flowers that's on a passion vine. They only last a day, but they're certainly pretty. This is a Texas senna tree, which is the host plant for the orange and yellow sulfur butterflies. Don't see any caterpillars on it at the moment. Some of you have asked for seed pods, and it looks like some of them are just about ready for me to pick off the tree for you. Don't you just love blue days? So easy to take care of, spread so nicely, so pretty. Pest-free, disease-free. And I didn't plan this bed this way. It was originally my milkweed bed. And then I added some other plants to it. And then in the end, I realized that not only did I have milkweed, I had Joe Pye weed, frostweed, ironweed, rosinweed. So this is my weed bed. It's the milkweed for the monarchs. Right now I don't have any monarchs around, and a lot of yellow leaves from all the rain we've had. Beautyberry bush. Starting to get some berries on it. Birds like that. And in the middle is the golden dewdrop that I trained to be an ornamental tree. And some bee balm. Well, we're going to go in on the patio and take a look at a few examples of some caterpillars, some eggs, some chrysalis. I don't have much at the moment. I'm letting Mother Nature take care of a lot of it. In addition, while we're walking that direction, I have pots with bromeliads. Those are silver vase bromeliads. And I looked online 2 years ago and figured out a way to force them to bloom again. So every early spring, I put some solution in the cups of the bromeliads, and voila, 6 to 8 weeks later, they rebloom. Several years back, well, that's one of my favorite too, my angel there. I got that after Bob died. Okay, so over here I've got a few butterfly things. When my grandson and I first started into the hobby of raising butterflies, the first couple years we released 200 to 300 monarchs every year. As I said, this year I'm letting Mother Nature take care of a lot of them. It can get pretty intense, but in this container, first of all, there is a chrysalis, and that is a Gulf fritillary chrysalis. Down towards the bottom, there is a black swallowtail chrysalis. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. It's hard to see. They look like dried up leaves. It's right there. And it's been about a week, so a few more days and that'll be hatching out to be a black swallowtail butterfly. And let's see, at least this morning, there we go. Here is a Gulf fritillary caterpillar. From the time an egg is laid until the caterpillar is hatched is 3 or 4 days. And then about a week to 10 days as a caterpillar. And they go from being like almost microscopic to being an inch long in a very short period of time. And then a week later, 10 days later, they crawl up and make their chrysalis. So that's a little bit about the life cycle. Here I have some examples of eggs. That is a Gulf fritillary egg right there. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's kind of a light orange. On the passion vine, up here, the little yellow eggs, those are Gulf fritillary eggs. And they'll be hatching in a few days, and then we'll have some tiny, tiny little caterpillars. Also here I have a variety of houseplants and succulents. And some orchids and some supplies. Wisdom from the garden. Play in the dirt, be outstanding in your field, fertilize, feed the birds, add new flowers. We're all good at that, aren't we? Wish for rain and enjoy the beauty. for coming to my garden tour.